Okay, I wanted to discuss an interesting problem that came up with my business mastermind. We call ourselves the Trifecta, and there's three other men who they actually live in America. I live here in close to Byron Bay, and we get together. It's a pretty brutal time frame for me, 4 a.m. on a Saturday morning, but there has been a development over the last, I think we've been meeting about 6 months, 7 months now, where we are really hitting our straps. And one of the questions that came through from one of those men was like, hey, what do you guys use for decision making? And he was like, it'd be a really good idea if we had a way of making great decisions. And I was like, you know what? I have had a couple of experiences around this. And as I usually do with every problem in my life, I'm thinking of it from a systems perspective. So I actually looked up the resources that I've got. One of which is a lead magnet. I don't know where it came from, but it was called Decision Simplified. And it was really interesting because it wasn't so much talking about how to make decisions, but rather talking about dashboards that alerted me that a decision needed to change, which was really interesting. It was like, oh, okay, cool. You guys are saying set up dashboards so that I can look at what my targets were and am I on track or am I not on track? And therefore, from that, make a decision about what needs to change. Now, this in itself wasn't really what I was looking for. Okay, this isn't what I was looking for. What the other place that I've seen two other places. One is in a book called Making Great Decisions, and it's got this awesome picture. You can go on Amazon and check out this picture. It's a guy dressed up in motorcycle gear, and there's 5 choices. There's like a tricycle, a bicycle, a horse, a motorbike, and one more thing. Like I don't know, it's like a cart or something. It's like, which one will I choose? The guy's dressed up in motorcycle gear, so it's obvious. But I read that book some years back, and I haven't reviewed it yet. But there was one more piece which was by Frank Kern, and it was like how to make decisions. And he runs through a decision-making process. And out of this, I was thinking, maybe you could just have a template document or a form where you answer a bunch of questions, and out of that comes a decision making. And this was very powerful. This is like, oh man, that form where I could just type in my answers and out would come a decision about whether I should proceed or not. This in itself, very powerful, very useful. And the question I've got for you, well, do you have something like that right now? And if not, how are you making your decisions? Is it just by gut feel? Is it just by panic? Oh my goodness, we've got the house on fire. I'm going to make a decision right now to call the fire brigade and get them to come put it out. Or is there something else that you use? So this form or this template in itself, can realize that that form is really just a Google Doc or a Word document that's fancy, and it's like instead of the question's there and then you type in your answer. You could just have that as a Google form. But that being said, what's the difference versus a system? Well, the difference with the system kind of plays back to that original idea about the guys with the dashboard saying, hey, there's a reason why you want to make a new decision. And a system gives you that. It's like, hey, there's a trigger here. There's a reason why we're using this system. There's a problem that needs to be solved. I need to make a new decision. I need to think about, hey, what are my options here? And so when you wrap up that form or that Google Doc or that template in the rules of how it is implemented, then you get a powerful way of getting an outcome every time. You know when that system needs to be deployed, not just the template itself. We've covered this before, this idea of orphan processes and orphan templates, where there's no information about how to use that process or when to use that process or who should use that process or how to track that process. But when you wrap that form or that Google template up inside of a system, now you've got the rules for when to use it and tracking its deployment. All right, that's all I got for you today. I hope you're having an awesome day. And I'm going to go continue building out this system, the system for decision making, a powerful one I look forward to continuing this conversation over the coming week with you. I'll see you tomorrow as we continue this journey into the power of systems to create results. See you then.